today we've got, it's about half an hour. We're going to do 15 minutes with both the guys. And the format is going to be quite simple. So Shannon's going to step on a stage and she's going to introduce her app and what she's trying to do. And then I'm probably just going to ask you a few questions, Shannon, on what your challenges are. And then as a group today, some of you guys might be able to help with some of that thinking. And then hopefully we will let Shannon have a little bit of insight, a little bit of useful information that could hopefully go on and help you be hugely successful with your app. And then we're going to do it again with Ashley. So that's the plan. Hopefully it's going to work. So without further ado, can we introduce Shannon onto the stage, please? And give her a big round of applause. Thank you very much. So Shannon, would you like to introduce yourself and tell us what your app's all about?
Yeah, sure. So I'm the co-founder and CEO of FanSaves. So we're a mobile app, and what we do is we help sports teams and other organizations to activate their fan bases. So you might be familiar with traditional sponsorship, rink boards or wall signs or scoreboard ads. And in my past, working in sports sponsorship, we found that type of advertising doesn't always activate and bring people into the sponsor stores, a sponsor being like Pizza Hut or McDonald's or the Marriott. So FanSaves is simple. At its core, we offer discounts and deals on the app from the sponsors of the teams. So people can download the app and they can follow their favorite teams. And then after they follow their teams, they get exclusive access to the sponsors' discounts and deals. And then they're able to redeem the deal at the point of purchase. So the best part about FanSaves is both the team and the sponsors, they have their own dashboards. Their back-end dashboards allow them to track return on investment and track customer analytics and get that data that traditional advertising doesn't really provide. So that's a little overview of FanSaves.
Fantastic. Thank you very much for that. So, is this an app? Do you see, are there any other competitors out there doing what you do?
We're definitely a first to market app. We're the first app and first platform that's really connecting fans with the teams and their sponsors. So there are a lot of couponing apps out there, different ones that do different things. But for us, using the fan bases of sports teams, and we're also getting into other verticals, esports, universities, colleges, even cities and BIAs. So being able to work hand in hand with their marketing teams allows us kind of a different way to grow. It's been really organic so far. So
great. So you said that wonderful word, organic. Have you seen a relatively good take up in terms of the downloads to the app and the users? Oh, look at that!
I came prepared.
As if by magic. We haven't rehearsed this.
We practiced. No, we just met. I swear. Yeah. So. Like I said, it's definitely been organic, but because we are a startup, we don't have tons of money to spend on paid advertising. So a lot of what we're doing is just working with the teams and the organizations that are already on the app. So, we obviously like to keep growing our following and our numbers. And I think, yeah, this shows our traction. So we have 16 teams. We're currently in talks with the Ottawa Senators, the Boston Bruins. We have 86 different brands offering discounts and deals. And we can't break through that 2,000 user benchmark. We've kind of been getting closer and closer, but that's something we're really struggling with. And the redemptions are really our aha moment. So getting a user is one thing, getting them to create their profile is the next, and then getting them to redeem again is what we're trying to do.
Got you. So you're talking here. So you want to increase the amount of users. You're going to try and encourage them to do more redemptions, and then obviously continue to doing that on a regular basis. So I think these are typical challenges. Actually, guys, just so you know, that my business, Yodel Mobile, we've probably launched about 2,500 apps over the last 10 years. So we've got a ton of experience in this. this is, this is something that we've seen a lot of. So what if you put in the numbers to one side, what do you see your biggest challenge being?
I think for us, it's educating people, because we are first to market. There's nothing like us. There hasn't really been anything like this before. And it's letting people know, like, one, it's free to download. Like, two, you're supporting your teams and their sponsors. And like, three, you're getting to save money. And I feel like a lot of people, they're just so oversaturated that we have to spend so much time like educating them and reminding them. We have push notifications that when they're in a location, it tells them, hey, you have a deal, or if they're driving by, it lets them know. But still, people aren't like remembering to use it. So we want to try to fix that.
Okay, cool. So can I just ask some relevant, very pertinent questions? Are you using any tools within the app for push notifications?
So our push notifications are through Firebase. So
Okay.
that's what we're currently using. And we're always like open to
Sure.
updating and stuff.
So can I give you some hard truth?
100%. And I'll tell you, like, we had our MVP was developed by an agency that really gave us that kind of, I'm sure a lot of people know this story, like not just, I've found that a lot of people have experienced similar things where they go to an agency and then they get taken advantage of. So we went to another agency, and because of how it started, it was created in Firebase, and that was something we didn't even have control over. And now it's like we're stuck, and any advice is good advice at this point.
So, I mean, the first thing I would say is ditch Firebase. There's the likes of Braze or Mixpanel or Lean Plum. So these are tools that are specifically developed for apps. And what they allow you to do is really understand who your users are, and you can construct targeting groups for individuals based on how they're using the app, and then you can automate that. So coming back to your point about getting people to continue bringing those back into the app, building that relationship through the using proper tools. And I mean, forgive me if there's anybody here that works with Firebase, it doesn't do the job that you need. It's not fit for purpose for the app space. I think as well, from my perspective, I would suggest one of the big tools you've got is the PR element of it. This is great for sports fans. Sports fans love being at those events. They're there because they're engaged with the teams that are playing. And to capitalize and on that, I would suggest is a really good idea. So, obviously working with the sports that and the teams that are utilizing you is a really big thing. The PR element of that is something I would definitely push as well.
And yeah, that's been something that we've actually excelled at more than, we're both non-technical founders. Sure. So we've had to rely on, the agencies. We just brought actually a full stack developer in house, but, creating an app, and our background is sales and marketing. So we're still like, we're getting the coverage, and then I feel like we're not always converting it. So it's hard to, again, because it's so new, it's like the teams are pushing it out, but we're still noticing that there's not like as fast an uptake as we were expecting.
Sure, I totally understand that. I think that's a typical frustration that I think a lot of startups that are funding it themselves are going to face. I think one of the other things that I think would be really useful is the virality element of that as well. So getting people to share by, I've had a little play around with the app, putting into the app the functionality to be able to share, whether that's directly through email or through the share buttons through Twitter. Those kind of things are good because you can then actually capitalize again on that interest of the sports, and then sports fans can share with sports fans. I think there's a lot of things that you can do around that particular area. Can everybody do us a favor? Could you go to the App Store and download the app now, just to help boost some of those numbers?
Thank you.
The-
I love this.
Just one other thing. Again, being completely honest as well. I think one of the challenges you face, which is what a lot of businesses face when they've relied on a development agency to bring it to market, is as soon as the app's downloaded, you ask for people to accept push notifications. Now, in my book, that's an absolute no-no. You have to give those people a reason as to why. So putting an overlay before you actually put the automated pop-up in there would be really important. And on the back of that, you'll actually get more people accepting your push. The second thing I would suggest as well is if you guys have downloaded the app, what you'll see as well is you've got a registration page that comes up straight away. Again, you need to give those individuals that are downloading the app a reason to sign up. So you've actually gone straight into that position of requesting that really sort of personal information without giving those guys a reason. And I think if you took that off, you get far greater conversion. And I think the third thing that I would certainly advise you to do is really look at your App Store optimization. So the descriptors.
That was my first question.
Oh, we've actually dived into this.
I swear.
Yeah, get your answer. Have you spent the day here? Have you seen any of the other speakers?
Yeah, I mean, I've learned a lot today. It really has helped me rethink everything, because being the CEO and the co-founder, we're so busy doing so many other things and, taking care of so many different parts of the business that this part kind of gets put to the wayside, and it shouldn't. I definitely, even after being here today, I'm like, oh my goodness, what am I focusing on? So
no, absolutely. I think one of hopefully what has been useful today is you've learned a lot. I think that's one of the great things about this particular event. There's some really, really good speakers with some really good insight. You're right. There aren't enough hours in the day for you to be able to do what you need to do. You need to prioritize. I think App Store optimization, getting your registration process sorted, looking at your what we call push priming, so getting people to accept push notifications, and putting the right tools in for you to build that relationship. I would certainly advise you to actually focus on when you've gone away from today and sat down and thought about the next 6 months and what have you.
That's awesome. This is great advice, and I really appreciate it, and will make you proud.
Thank you very much. Just guys, but just before Shannon goes, has anybody got anything else that they would like to share in terms of insight? Oh, we got a lady at the back.
Hang on, wait, sorry.
Sure. I'm Ro. I'm from M&C Saatchi Performance, but my insight, I think, is just like from a fan perspective. I just downloaded it, and I think I agree about not having to sign in first. But then it asked me to choose teams, but I really didn't know any of the teams that I could choose from. I wasn't here for the whole presentation, but maybe allowing people to tell you what teams they're interested in would at least point you in those directions, and then you could be offering people teams they recognize. I don't know if this is supposed to be very specifically for the teams that are up there right now or not, but just off of the name of your app, it doesn't point me specifically in one direction or another. So yeah, I think just me being I have no idea who any of these teams are is a strange conception. And then I went into the deals themselves, and I'm not super certain what they have to do with the teams. Is it location-based or whatever? But I'm kind of if I'd chosen other teams, am I missing other deals? So those are just my 5-second thoughts off of having just downloaded your app.
Great, thank you for that. So just to quickly summarize, I think focusing on what the user wants and giving them the opportunity to fill that in, at the right at the start, is certainly helping to direct. I guess that sort of that influencer element.
Definitely. We're actually, I love that you brought that up because we're working on our next iteration that's coming up, coming out at the end of August. And that is part of it where people will be able to suggest what teams they want. We're based in Canada, so that's why probably most people will be like, what teams are these? But as you saw before, we are talking to some NHL teams and other big teams in North America. So bear with us. We're growing.
Fantastic. Are we allowed another question? Thanks, James.
Actually, and it's kind of somewhat on that same topic, but two things with that. One, I downloaded the app as well, and as I was going through, unless I chose at least 3 of those teams, it didn't even really allow me to access much of the app. If I was allowed to get in there, even if I skipped that step, maybe I'd see enough value in the rest of the app to now go in and kind of re-go through some of that. The second part is, again, to this point, if I put in the teams that I'm interested in, now it allows you to go to those teams and say, hey, I've got 2,600 people that have said they're interested in your team, fans that want to interact with you this way. I think it would give you more to work with.
I 100% agree. And for us, again, being non-technical co-founders, like we have, it's really like tested our patience because there are so many things, and that is like one of them. So in this new update that we're creating, you'll be able to follow teams or organizations the same way. Like on Instagram, you could search for the teams that you want to follow and be able to follow as many as you want. So I 100% love that you brought that up because that is something that we're working towards. And again, it's the whole development side of it has really kind of slowed us down in a way. So
great. Thank you so much, guys. Unfortunately, we've run out of time with Shannon. We have another app to look at in a sec. But can you guys just give it up for Shannon?
Thank you.
Thank you for sharing your thoughts, and good luck with everything.